this is Tentamon from Digimon. Make sure you subscribe to Dimsy's Domain.
Izzy, the brains behind the DigiDestined team, the genius child prodigy that even Jedi himself was shocked on how quickly Izzy understood how the digital world operates in the first season. And even now in Digimon 2020 series, he still is the brains behind the plans and is telling Tai and Matt what to do in their fight against Algomon. So the question I want to ask you guys, is Izzy underrated? Let's discuss. Let me start off with what I think what the fanbase thinks of Izzy. I feel he just about gets the credit he deserves from the Digimon fanbase. I mean, look at my reviews for the first 3 episodes of the new Digimon 2020 series. I couldn't stop praising Izzy enough. I kept on saying how he is the MVP of the first 3 episodes and Tai and Matt would have been lost without him. He was basically the undercover leader for me in the first 3 episodes. Even in the latest episode, he showed traits of 2 crests in that episode, knowledge and courage, with him volunteering himself to be the distraction for Tylomon so Waymon can save himself, which is courage, and knowledge, with him having the brains to point out that Soundbirdmon is the one behind Tylomon's attacks. Now let's go further back to the first season of Digimon Adventure. In the first few episodes, Izzy's curiosity and knowledge is in full display to see, but more specifically in the episode where Tentamon digivolves into Kabuterimon for the first time. We see him playing with the hieroglyphics in the abandoned factory. He immediately understood that the program itself is alive and living. He rubbed out a bit of the hieroglyphics. Everything stops working, but as soon as he draws it back, guess what? The factory is powered up again and everything is working again. One of the most underrated things that Izzy has done in this whole series happened in this episode. Izzy managed to create a code to activate his Digivice. At first it wasn't working, but by the end of the episode, when Andromon was about to slaughter everyone, Izzy used his code to activate his Digivice to then digivolve Tentamon to Kabuterimon. In that crucial clutch moment, Izzy pulled through. If that was Tai or Matt or even TK, I guarantee you that moment would have been made an even bigger deal than it was. Because I feel Izzy at that time, back in the 90s when Digimon was still airing on TV and when we were all watching it in school, we would never talk about Izzy. It would be a toss-up between who is Tai or Matt, or even when season 2 came along, everyone would argue who is Davis, TK or even Ken. Remember, we were all kids back then and the times were so much more different to how they are now. You have Tai, who was the best soccer player in his school and overall had that cool looking character design and a badass dinosaur as his partner Digimon. And with Matt, you had that cool stoic character who every boy wishes they were that cool. But if you look at it for that time, the cool kids were always the ones that were good athletes and were good at sports and just have that cool factor. The ones who are the geeks or the ones that were good at class or very knowledgeable at school were not deemed to be cool for that time period growing up in the 90s. Which is what happened to Izzy, because at that time, no one would talk about how cool and badass Izzy really is. So I feel at that time period, he was criminally underrated. But now, ever since Digimon Adventure Tri, I feel Izzy's stock as a character skyrocketed, and rightfully so. The kids who grew up watching Digimon in the 90s are now all adults, and now we can appreciate how truly valuable Izzy is as a character. The times have changed as well since the 90s. We have seen a rise in geek culture. We have the Marvel movies that obliterated the box office. Technology nowadays is so intertwined with our lives now that we don't even need our wallets anymore. We can just pay with our phones or sometimes even our watches. And Izzy is the technology expert. He was trying to connect to the internet with infrared access. Remember those guys? I feel because technology and the use of using technology to be successful in your own life, and with the rise of geek culture, all of that adding up together has made Izzy not only appreciated by the older fans but by the younger fans as well. It's cool to be the know-it-all now. If you know your stuff, people are going to be drawn to you more, and that's what happened with Izzy and the DigiDestined. Have you guys noticed how whenever one of the DigiDestined needs help, they always go to Izzy? Especially ever since Digimon Adventure Tri. I'm going to ask a question to you guys later on in the video. I would love to know your opinions on it, but let's carry on with this first. Izzy had so many more moments in the first season that you can make an argument that if it wasn't for him, the DigiDestined would be all dead, like the episode where Izzy and Mimi were lost in the temple. Mimi got pissed off and left Izzy and Tentamon. Both of them are at fault here because Izzy was just ignoring Mimi, even though what he was doing was very important. But still, he was being quite rude to her by ignoring her, and she should never have left Izzy by himself. You have been in the digital world for a few days. Now you know that the danger is everywhere. Why did you just leave Izzy by himself? You should have known better, Mimi. But Izzy became the hero once again. Mimi used the map of the temple and used Mimi's Digivice as a tracking system, so then to save her from being lost in the temple. Izzy was the one to figure out that the digital world was an alternate world. His theory was that their real bodies were still in the real world, kinda like in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 3, the Noah storyline, where Yugi and his friends' bodies were still in the pods, but their minds were transported into Noah's digital realm. Izzy was half right. The part about them being in an alternate world was correct, but understand this, guys. Look how young he is, and he managed to realize that and understand everything that was going on. In both the Diaboroman films, Izzy is basically the leader of the team. I don't care what anyone says. It was him who discovered that there was a Digi-Egg that was hatching onto the internet, and it happened to be Diaboroman. It was him who realized that the best way to defeat Diaboroman is to slow him down. There was literally seconds left before the missile would have nuked Tokyo. Izzy, the genius that he is, forwarded thousands of emails, and I mean thousands of them, to Diaboroman, which slowed him down. Basically, Diaboroman was lagging and was truly defeated by Izzy's brains and competence than anything else. In the second Diaboroman film, Izzy is responsible for planning and the execution of the attack on Diaboroman. It was him who gathered all the DigiDestined, not Tai or Matt, to help defeat Diaboroman, especially after the chaos he caused last time. He was able to decipher Diaboroman's plan to send Kuroman to the real world, and so he sent the DigiDestined team to go and defeat Diaboroman before that happened. It was him and his family that figured out the riddle to defeat Venomyotismon, which brought about Wargreymon and Metal Garurumon. The list goes on with Izzy. In season 2, he adopted a mentor-like role for the O2 DigiDestined. He was similar to how Billy was in Power Rangers Zeo. Billy was a Power Ranger fighting on the field in the Mighty Morphin series, just like how Izzy was doing in the first Digimon Adventure series. And then in season 2, Billy was the technology guy, fixing the morphers and all the other weapons for the Power Rangers, including the Zords, which is what Izzy was doing in season 2 when he was studying the new D3s that the O2 cast were using. And he was the one that figured out that only the D3s can open the digital gate to the digital world. Even in season 2, he still had a big role to play. He was the one that told the O2 DigiDestined that Ken's base was about to explode, otherwise they would never have known about it. The damage of the explosion would have been like a nuke going off in the digital world. He was also always giving advice and being helpful to the O2 cast. I would even say he was more of a mentor than Tai and Matt were to the O2 cast. I mean, Matt almost beat the shit out of Davis in the 4th episode of Digimon Adventure 02. But the question of whether or not Izzy is underrated doesn't need to be answered. We all know he is loved and is probably most people's favorite character. For me, in the new Digimon Adventure 2020 series, he has been my favorite character. And even in Try, I would say he was also my favorite character there as well. But the other question I want to ask you guys is, who is the real leader of the DigiDestined? Is it Izzy or is it Tai? This is going to be controversial, but I feel like Izzy has been the undercover leader all along. But that debate will be saved for a future video. But to conclude with this video, I feel Izzy was underrated when the original Digimon Adventure was first airing back in the 90s. But now I feel Izzy is so loved now by the fanbase that he is in fact the fan favorite character in the Digimon Adventure series. Hell, not even just in Digimon Adventure, but in the Digimon series period. Guys, what do you think? Please let me know in the comment section down below. Click that notification bell to stay up to date with our content. And as always, care for nothing.